Hello students. So next point to discuss in static electric field is the divergence of electric field due to point charge. Earlier we had discussed that for a test charge the electric field, the divergence of electric field is zero. So when test charge is present here, so no divergence will occur. We will not talk about any situation where we account the effect due to the test charge, but definitely for a point charge it will go non-zero. But let's see how mathematically. Let's say we have a point charge plus Q and then electric field due to this point charge will be given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square in the radial direction. Now suppose if we take divergence here, divergence of electric field, so it may sound like so it will be 1 by R square d upon dou upon dr dou r and then 1 by R square multiplied by R square. So as you see here, then this partial differentiation of 1 will make this divergence 0. So we see that by taking divergence simply it will become 0. But as we know, the divergence of a point charge the divergence of a point charge is non-zero. So what is the mathematical deficiency here? That is we are going to discuss here. Now before that, let me define a function which is known as Dirac delta function or simply delta function. It is written mathematically. Suppose it is a function of the x coordinates. It is given by del x. Del x is undefined at the point x equal to 0 and it is 0 for all other values of x. Mathematically it is plotted like this way. This value is undefined, or you can see at x is equal to 0, there is a, you can call it as sudden blow. At all other points its value is 0, except at x is equal to 0 it suddenly blows up to a very huge value. Another property for direct delta function is the area under this function is 1 always. So again we can define it in a more rectangular fashion. So its area will be, suppose this is plus epsilon by 2 minus epsilon by 2 and this is 1 by epsilon. Then its area will be taking limit epsilon tends to 0 into epsilon 1. Let us see one more property. Suppose any function fx is multiplied with a shifted version of the delta function, then its value will be simply fa del of x minus a, and fa will be called the weight of delta function. And suppose if we take the integral, here the limit will be minus infinity to infinity. All space, you are taking all the values. Then fx del x minus a dx minus infinity to infinity. So its value will be simply, it will become fa del x minus a dx, and of course the area under this curve is 1, then fa will come outside and its value will be fa. The important point to note down here is that there is sudden blow up at x equal to 0. Sudden blow up the function, suddenly becoming the value of the function becoming very high, and but at all other points its value is 0. And the area under this curve is always 1. A very strange looking function, but immense amount of application is there of the direct delta function. Now in 3 dimensions, direct delta function, in 3 dimension it will be the same for any this position at any rth distance, rth position. It is represented by the same the Cartesian coordinate and del z. So let's del y del z, and similarly the integration minus infinity to infinity theta tau depending on the type of the coordinate system. So for here area under this curve will go 1. Finally, you can write del Q all space its value is 1. We will see how this particular function comes into the picture of divergence of electric field. Now del dot T, once again, look into the divergence of this function, Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught and del dot AR upon R square. We are taking the divergence of this of the electric field due to a point charge. Now see, let us single out this function. Now let us invoke the concept of Stokes theorem here. For Stokes theorem, the surface integral will be converted into the volume integral. So for this function, if we obtain the surface integral, it will be given by r square sin theta d theta d phi, where r belongs to, let's say this is the point charge here, then at any distance r we have considered a Gaussian surface. Then its value will be r cancelled 0 to pi for theta, and for phi upon theta is equal to 0, and then theta phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi. And this direction, this one direction of surface will be AR. So on integration we will obtain 4 pi. Now invoking the concept of divergence theorem, this must be equal to the volume integral of the divergence of this particular vector field. Now, how is this possible? This is only possible when we have the divergence of this particular vector field as 4 pi times of the direct delta function. Because now if we take the volume integral, so it will be taking 4 pi outside. Now as we know, the area under the curve of the direct delta function, its value is 1. Its value will go 1, and it is 4 pi. Okay. We can define the divergence of this particular vector field, that is inverse of the radius, as 4 pi times of this is a very important derivation. Now if you look at, initially we had defined what we found out, that the divergence electric field is going 0. Once again, if you closely look at here, when r tends to 0, that is where the charge is present, at this point, this is, if this goes to 0, the numerator is going to 0, but the denominator is going 2 times 0. Then we can say at del dot E at r tends to 0 becomes undefined. This representation, the divergence of becoming undefined is represented with the help of the direct delta function. And now, if we find the divergence, which is q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, it will be, and we can write as multiplied by 4 pi del q r. Its divergence will be q times of del q r upon epsilon naught. If we compare this with the point form of Gauss law, which is given by del dot E equals to rho v upon epsilon naught, where rho v is the charge density, volume charge density. Now, if we compare these two equations, we can write rho v equals to q times of the direct delta function at the position r. Now this is nothing but, can define as the charge density for point charge. And we can say for a point charge, this divergence is non-zero. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you.